Hey there, folks. Santee at the Arizona Ghost Raiders here. We got mail. Santee, can you do one about historically accurate westerns? Josh Skinner. Authentic westerns. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's do it.
Let's dance.
Before I start mentioning some movies here, I want to talk about the expectation from Hollywood. Back in the heyday of westerns, movies and TV shows were being churned out with attention to what the audiences wanted: Western action. They put history in the background, frequently just getting names and places correct. Filmmakers still do that today because that's what sells tickets. We shouldn't hate Hollywood for that. We should enjoy the cinema for what it gives us. Then we can look up the real history later.
Are you finished?
Okay, here's a handful of movies that did a bang-up job with accuracy. Keep in mind, none of these are 100% correct, but great work nonetheless. In 2007, The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford came out. I'm sad that movie doesn't have a longer title.
Oh dear, I made him cranky.
Jesse James is associated with the Old West, although most of his antics happened a little farther east. Regardless, this movie does an amazing job of putting you in the era. The interior sets, the wardrobe, and the character portrayals were all impressive. I will admit to this being a long and sometimes draggy film, but it sure made me feel like I was there.
Who are you, stranger? I'm a friend of Starrett's.
Shane, released in 1953, gets a lot right. The storyline is a common one with the farmers pitted against the ranchers. The general store, paired with a saloon in one of the few buildings in the small town, really gives you that frontier feel. Alan Ladd, who played the title role, rocked his deerskin clothes. We're given almost nothing about his backstory, but we know he's drifting and likely been a man of violence most of his life. Shane required minimal effort to take out the bad element.
Creek Johnson.
1993's Tombstone had accuracy that pretty much changed westerns for the better. The Buscadero rigs are gone, the pullover shirts are in, and you'd be hard-pressed to find an off-the-shelf Boot Barn hat. Although the movie didn't get all the events right, it had a great impact on Western cinema.
Forward! March!
Hostiles nailed a few things in 2017. First, the costuming and feel of the military life was very well presented. The National Congress of American Indians liked the film for its authentic representation of the tribes and accurate rendition of their languages. The acting was great, and the PTSD was clearly evident in these soldiers.
Send a man after Benteen with supplementary orders.
On the subject of the Indian Wars, here's one for you. Now, I'm not a Custer historian, but sources tell me The Son of Morningstar was probably the best screen rendition of the Battle of Little Bighorn and the events leading up to it. The setting is close, and apparently so are the costumes. I thought it was very well done. Arizona came out in 1940 to mixed reviews, but it had some great historical nods. First of all, they built an Adobe reproduction of Tucson from 1862. Then they stocked the town with actors in period clothes and gave some of them the names of the actual 1860s Tucsonans. The firearms are correct too. (2004's) The Alamo gets a lot right. Wardrobe, guns, and the battle were very close. Of course, not knowing exactly how the end of the morning played out, the filmmakers made a choice which I think most people were content with. No, John Wayne running into the powder magazine with a torch didn't happen.
Dude, what the hell?
Okay, many of you are probably aghast I didn't mention some other films, but this isn't the last video on the subject. There are some movies from the early 30s and 40s I haven't seen yet that are supposed to be pretty spot on. Hey, more in the future, right?
Just a minute. I'll appeal to the highest court. You're a Don't you call me.
Well, folks, that's it for another episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget about Patreon. For $3 a month, you can subscribe. This week, we're talking about setting up an Old West museum in Old Tucson. It's going to look good. All right. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on down the trail. We're setting up an Old West museum in Old Tucson. Yeah, baby. That's going to be good. Okay, one more time. And action.